You ever heard of the name Annabelle, or Robert the Doll, or Okiku? In the words of the great philosopher Fazzini from the movie The Princess Bride, morons. Welcome to Janky Puzzles. It's an interesting one today. Okay, so let me tell you, trying to say those words at the beginning there, I had to film that like 8 times. The philosopher Fazzini. Yeah, that was a tough one. Okay, so today I originally set out to do a nice spooky Halloween episode. Last year, my my Halloween themed puzzle was one of my biggest failures, and I will link to this right here. It's under the thumbnail. I failed because it was a puzzle that I couldn't finish. Uh, it's very rare that I'm bested, but it bested me. So I thought long and hard about something spooky and something kind of different this year instead of a traditional Halloween jigsaw puzzle. There's a lot of them out there. They've got traditional harvest ones, Halloween ones. I have one of my favorite ones. It's a bits and pieces puzzle, which I will put a picture of right here because I am not seeing it in front of me. But yeah, it was one of my favorite puzzles. And there's also a lot of Thomas Kincaid for some reason, a lot of those lately. But so I thought, well, what else is kind of spooky out there? And I found something, and at first it was kind of terrifying. But the more I spent time with this puzzle and the more I got to kind of get a feel for what it was about and what's on it, I learned a new appreciation. Let me show you. Let me just get right into it. So this is this year's spooky Halloween puzzle. It is from Springbok. It is from the Hallmark era of Springbok. It's only 18 by 24 and is called The Doll Shop. And it's all full of spooky haunted dolls. If you're afraid of dolls, this would terrify you. Little Joey, when I was a kid, was absolutely terrified of Chucky. I was 7, 8 years old when the first movie came out, because I think it came out in '88. Terrified me. I had nightmares for years and years and years and years. And to this day, sometimes he still gives me the heebie-jeebies. So I get it. I totally get it. So yeah, this was a no-brainer when I found this. Wonderful. Very beautiful puzzle. Yeah, and it's full of these little dolls. And let's just go ahead and take a look at it. I got a lot of stuff to talk about, actually. So let's put this back here behind the world-famous puzzle table. And it's built. Look at that. Ooh. You can see that okay. A hard time been having a hard time measuring things up lately. So here's the beautiful dollhouse puzzle. Now this one was muddy. If you look at it, it's not a lot of color variation. There's a lot of dark colors and a lot of beiges and a lot of tans. There's a little bit of red, and there's a little bit of this one almost looks like she's wearing a mariachi hat, and I got a flag, but there's a lot of lace and a lot of doilies, and yeah. Luckily, though, for this one, it was half completed in the box. You'll see a lot of puzzles that are, when they're folded up and put away, sometimes people just kind of break them up into pieces and put them in the box. Luckily, this one was half done, so it didn't take me very long. It still had its challenges, though. There was just a lot of things that just were the same. Okay? But it's still a lot of fun. Springbok puzzles, especially in this era, they could be a challenge because the pieces, and we've talked about this before, these types of puzzle pieces aren't straight like squares. They're kind of wackadoo all over the place. Again, like um, bits and pieces ones are. But these are very fluid, and they don't always line up like you would. So it's really hard to sort. You have to sort a Springbok pretty much by color, not by shape, after you get the border down. So walking around this puzzle a little bit. This is a pool cue, by the way. I used this in my last, it's half of a pool cue that I had since I was a teenager. And the other half has my name engraved on it. That we engraved it ourselves. So it's mostly dolls. Obviously, there's some little toys here on the bottom, a little piano, a rocking horse, and a trunk full of little things in it. So all in all, it was a fairly fun puzzle. Now, again, if dolls give you the heebie-jeebies, yeah, I could see it. Especially, there's one that just looks like it was just looking into my soul every time. And it's this guy right here. He, I don't know. He looks like he's haunted by the soul of a Victorian child. But other than that, this was a lot of fun. And this doll is actually holding a little doll. There's like a little Inception doll. The cool part about this era of Springbok, I'll bring the box back out here, is on the back, they have poems. Handwritten poems that have, well, not handwritten, obviously, but original poems that are themed to the front of the puzzle. Very cool. Not all of them have them, but when you can find an old Springbok with a thing on it, it's kind of special, and I really enjoy these poems. Now, first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this poem right here, and then afterwards I'll explain why. Okay. This poem on the back of this puzzle is called Yesterday's Companions. Okay. How primly and straight you sit in your places, with velvet bonnets, ribbons, and laces. Too rare, too valuable now to hold. Somehow you look so alone and cold. What wonderful stories you must know of the doting children who loved you so, of playing house with a special friend, and marvelous games of let's pretend, of afternoon tea parties out on the lawn. Why have they left you? Where have they gone? As you sit on the shelf, do you ever yearn for tottering footsteps to return? For the familiar voice of the dear young miss, her lovable arms, her warm little kiss. Ah, but then you are only toys. And of course you know nothing of sorrows and joys. So why can't I shake this feeling, my dears, that you are very close to tears? That's beautiful. And it's really poignant. And reminds me of the story of Jessie from Toy Story 2. That she was a loved toy, but then the kid that owned her grew up. And like all things, we grow up, and the things we loved as kids get put down somewhere, and they're never picked up again. And so for the author of this poem to see that and to put that in eloquence is really something. It's very touching to me. The way she mentions that, nothing of sorrows and joys, then why can't I shake this feeling that you're so very close to tears? Because they do have expressions to them. They do have personalities, and I can see the appeal of these baby dolls, of these nice porcelain fancy dolls. I understand it. I myself was a big fan of action figures growing up, still am, and I get it. I totally understand. In researching this, I found a United Federation of Doll Clubs. It was founded in 1947. And if you go to their website, again, this is just one entity and lots of them out there. They have a marketplace and all sorts of cool information about different types of dolls. And the love and the dedication, the people that cared about these is really something. So, the poem, Yesterday's Companions, was written by a lady named Barbara Burrow. Now, Barbara Burrow works for Hallmark, because remember, Hallmark owned Springbok at this time. I believe this is the late 70s, early 80s, because there's not a date on this. But there's also no barcode, so that kind of gives you a context clue. Barbara Burrow, 38 years she worked for Hallmark, writing cards. She was also very into her church and things like that. So I looked for Barbara Burrow because I wanted to ask her about this poem, her time with Hallmark. But she passed away in October 14th, 2022, which, as of recording this, was yesterday, 4 years ago. She passed away, and interestingly enough, she passed away 2 weeks after her husband did. She was in her 90s. So she left a really amazing poem, and she left lots of cool writing. There's books of her writing available. The other cool thing about this is that when you look at puzzles and you look at things like this, they're mostly staged photographs by marketing, by if it's a movie themed puzzle, by movie studios, art departments, things like this. The cool thing about this puzzle is that right here on the bottom of this box, it says, the dolls used in this design are from the collection of Sue Allen from Independence, Missouri, and are reproduced with her permission. Sue Allen of Independence, Missouri. She had her love of dolls immortalized on an old Hallmark puzzle. And I wanted to speak to her as well. So I looked up Sue Allen from Independence, Missouri, which, oddly enough, Barbara Burrow was from Missouri as well. Well, Hallmark is from Kansas City anyway. So, and Sue Allen passed away as well. She passed away in May 24th of 2013. And it said in her obituary, I found the obituaries of both of these lovely ladies. And it said in her obituary that she was an avid doll collector, obviously. And her husband managed or owned something called the Covered Wagon Flea Market. How cool is that? Something she loved got shared with a bunch of people, And 40, 50 years into the future, some chunky dude from Kuna, Idaho fell in love with this. So this was really cool. I really enjoyed this a lot. Like I said, it did help that it was half done when I started. This is actually something that if you have an old-fashioned style, if you're into vintage things, if you have like a mom core that I call it, if you just like cozy things, one like this would be fun to frame, just because it's just kind of cool and it's kind of unique too. I think I really enjoyed it. So Miss Burrow and Miss Allen, thank you so much for sharing, I don't know, your words and your affection for your things with the world. I actually did look up a little bit deeper, and I found the family members of both Miss Burrow and Miss Allen. And I was going to reach out to them. And I mean, I just kind of found them on, digging around on the internet. But I was going to reach out to them. But I felt, this is good. This is enough. But if the off chance they ever see this, and who knows if they will or not, your grandmother's left a really beautiful legacy. So, thank you so much again for tuning in. Real quick note from a previous episode. So, I have a few people on YouTube that I follow. Some of them actually inspired this channel. And one of them is somebody who I really look up to. I think he's amazing. He's got that really fun attitude about life that I kind of do as well. And I got the name of his channel wrong. The name of his channel is Able to Change One. His whole thing is that he's old, he's puzzled, and he can only change one of those. And his stuff is really good, and link to that in the bottom there that I forgot to link last time. So, Able to Change One, check out his stuff. He does some really fun timelines. He's very cool. Other than that, thank you for indulging me in sharing this doll puzzle. I even dug out one of my own, a little matchbook girl doll. So I have a new appreciation for these things. They're scary, but they're cool. All right. Well, remember, do good things and be good people. Do stuff underneath. Hit all the things and say something. I don't know. Is there any creepy collections out there that you still find fascinating? Say something underneath. It really helps us out the channel. I had a pie in the sky dream of hitting 500 subscriptions by the end of the year, but I'm hoping to hit 250 subscribers by the end of the year, and we're not that far away. So if you want to share with us on your socials, that would be awesome. Remember, we do have a Facebook page, Janky Puzzles, on Facebook. You can easily reach me here, or you can reach me down there. We also have an email, jankypuzzles@gmail.com. Send me an email. Say hi. Thank you so much. Again, remember, do good things and be good people. Have a good holiday season. We'll see you next time.